Last week on Steve and Audra.
Have you ever wondered what 24 hours of van life is like?
We took time to share how we do van life on a low budget.
We saved about $4 by just going to a different gas station.
Yeah. Free.
Not bad for, what do we spend? $2 something?
Our day started out just a normal day on the road. And then things took an unexpected turn.
So this is an unplanned, horrible part of van life. We were sitting here eating our dinner, and I looked out the window and I saw something on fire in the parking lot and a guy walking away from it.
Our 24 hours on the road continues.
Alright, good morning guys. I basically just got out of bed, crawled over Steve and got out of the van because it's sunrise and I like to not miss that in the morning if possible, especially if we're somewhere by the water. So I'm gonna just quick get some video and check things out before the sun comes up too much. As you can see, it's a pretty quiet, peaceful morning. So before taking the cat for a walk, I'm gonna try to grab a few other quick pictures because it's a beautiful sunrise. Check out this beautiful, peaceful, calm morning. So there's our van up there. As you can see, there's some fishermen putting their boats in this morning. It's kind of fun seeing the guys go out to fish this morning, a couple locals. It's pretty comfortable temperature, nice and cool this morning, but it is very buggy. Lots of bugs already flying around. But oh, what a great spot. So last night the locals were really friendly. Several of them stopped by to ask where we were from, what we were doing. We got a couple subscribers, so if you're watching, shout out to you guys. And a couple people also talked to us just about the area. This is actually a man-made lake, Lake Marion, and I'm glad they made it because it is really beautiful. So I'm gonna head back to the van and take our little girl for a walk, see if she wants to go outside. Do you want to go out, honey? You want to go for a walk? Hi, baby. Hi. Hi. You want to come out? Come on. Come on. Got the cat out, but I don't think she wants to be out this morning. Alright, so Gregory wasn't quite sure of things. She doesn't like being out in the middle without like protection or whatever. So I carried her over to the side of the parking lot, held her for a little while, let her look around. One boat did pull in with a trailer, but oh, she found some grass. She was feeling a little more confident. But I think she's still not too comfortable. How you doing, baby? You okay? It's a good girl, it's okay. Good girl. Good girl, Gray. It's okay. It's okay. So I'll try to walk with her a little bit and then probably take her back to the van pretty quickly. But when it's like this, it's important that I try to comfort her. So I'll have to catch you guys later. Take care of my little girl.
While Steve was still sleeping, I hung out with the kitty and did my morning devotions.
And I just heard some stirring over here, so I think there's a Steve that's up. 7 o'clock. Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
One of the first things I need to do when I wake up is splash some cold water on my face and brush my teeth and usually go to the bathroom. We won't show you the going to the bathroom part.
Why not? Here's the difference between Steve and I. He uses hand soap to wash his face. I'm a little more picky.
As long as it says soap, I don't care.
You ready for your day now?
A little bit better.
He also likes to have some coffee in the morning, but because we are where we are and we probably don't feel like getting the camp stove out, we'll have some breakfast and then go find some coffee somewhere.
We'll find a random house, knock on the door, ask for a cup.
There were some friendly locals last night. Snappi makes sure his pearly whites are clean, and I guess I'll do the same. And Gray Gray is doing her own morning toiletry routine. Today's a little different than if we were staying on the road longer, since it's our last day before getting back home. There's some things we're not going to worry about. For instance, today we'd probably try to find a place to take a shower if we were going to keep driving and traveling. And we'd probably be refilling our water tanks. You can kind of tell how it sounds that it's getting a little low. So we're going to try to use the water sparingly. Probably going to try to go grab a jug of water this morning, and then that's kind of all we'll do as far as taking care of that stuff today. I'm afraid I'll get soap on and not be able to rinse it off. You think? Maybe I'll use a little bit. I think that's the end. Where's the towel? Where's my magic towel? Voila. Voila. So, again, that's the nice thing with having the foot pump. You can use the water pretty sparingly. So, if it had been motorized, we probably would have been out of water already. But with the foot pump, it makes it last a little longer. And to make sure we smell okay in the van today, a little deodorant. Here's a little side note about that. I usually use natural deodorant, but it doesn't quite work as effectively. So when we've been in the van for a while, I use the strong stuff. I try not to use it as often, but it seems to do the trick at working a little bit better, so we smell fresher in the van. And a little moisturizer. Another way to save money is that I use store brand. Same thing, but just the store brand is cheaper. And it's got sunscreen because I want to make sure I don't get skin cancer. My dad actually had a pretty serious bout with skin cancer when I was younger, so that makes me extra careful. So living in a van in tight quarters, it can get a little messy looking. We have to do makeshift clothesline, hang stuff up when it gets wet. Things end up on the floor. So next it's time to make the bed. My least favorite chore. First I have to unearth the things that Steve tucks down by the side of his bed so I can get to things better. DVD player, book, DVDs. So first I try to get things kind of situated on this end. Kind of the sheets and blanket positioned where it should be. Here. And here's a mosquito, another mosquito. He's dead. I think that might be number 14 of the mosquitoes that I've killed since last night. Anyway, I try to get the sheet positioned in the right place. And the blanket, so it kind of hangs down over the mattress. Then I get up on the bed. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I try to get it as neat as I can. So for Steve, we have these small pillows, so he can actually fit in this area here. So kind of just wrap the pillowcase around. Stick that back in there. Same thing, I have one half pillow. I have my one full-size pillow. Which fits in there pretty nicely. Just use other pillow. And then we bring all the pointless pillows up and make the bed all pretty. And then I finish making the back side. And that's that. It was actually pretty quick today.
Audra spends part of her morning getting caught up online when we have internet access.
So we don't have any Wi-Fi here, but our phone is supposed to have a hotspot. I have not been able to get it to work lately, but we're going to try it again this morning because I have some posts I need to do for some social media marketing that I do. So I'm making some graphics right now, and hopefully we can get the phone to work with the hotspot.
And while Audra's doing her computer work, I do a little bit of computer work of my own, transferring over some of our video files into our storage to free up some space.
So the amount of work we do on the road each day really varies. Some nights we pull in and we do a few hours of work. This morning we're just doing a little bit, and then I actually might try to do a little bit of work while we're driving, which isn't as normal, but once in a while I do try to do that. And since we'll have a lot of hours on the road today, I'll probably work on the computer a little bit.
So one of my unpleasant chores in the morning is cleaning out the cat litter, which we have stored right underneath the bed here. Unfortunately, we don't have any lights, so I have to put on my trusty little headlamp, and then I go in.
He's going under, folks. Going mining.
Nice.
And we have a little litter genie, which works pretty good for keeping the litter odor sealed off so we don't smell it.
And that's it. Litter is clean.
Alright, so this is where we store our windshield cover during the day usually. And then we've got this blanket that doesn't match the rest of the van, but this is the kitty's blanket. So until I can find a color that works in here that's the same type of blanket, I put this in here. I put it up over to cover this a little bit. And then I make her a comfy little spot. She sleeps right here. She likes to rest her head on this little built-up part that I make. And then the last thing I do before we get back on the road, I move this chair. She likes to hide down behind the chair. And the last thing I do is kind of move it over, and we have this bungee cord that we just wrap around the chair and we hook it, so if we have to stop fast or whatever, the chair is still secure. We don't have any flying objects.
Then I will select what clothes I'm going to wear for the day. Before we hit the road, we like to try to have some breakfast, so we're going to have some cereal this morning.
So this is also a good time getting the milk out, but here's the ice we had in the bottom last night, overnight. We had the freezer going, but it didn't freeze. That's unfortunate. Does that seem weird? It's like total liquid. So, our fridge isn't going to be very cold today, but we're using up hopefully most of the stuff that matters. Are you gonna have some breakfast, Gregory? We realized that we didn't have our fridge turned up to the max setting last night, so I think that's why our ice never froze, which I guess on the plus side of that problem of ours, we now have extra water. Since the ice didn't freeze, we have water to wash the dishes. It's ice cold, so it's good for drinking. But now we know at night when we turn on the fridge to make sure that the setting's right. I think what happens is that it gets bumped when we take food in and out, and we just didn't realize. So it was like on a pretty low setting last night. It's nice that this sink came with a brine rack in the bottom that we can just stack the dishes and let them dry right in the sink. And with that, breakfast is done. Gonna finish cleaning things up and get on the road. The last thing we do is turn the swivel seat back around. Unfortunately, because of the swivel seat we got, we have to have the door open and we swivel it around. But it's definitely nice to have that feature. The kitty's in the go position. As soon as we start the van, she jumps up in her little spot on the bed. We just make sure the windows are all closed. So close the T-vent. And I closed the slider already. And it's go time. The driver's in his seat. Let's get this show on the road.
Alright, so in a recap of last night, all's well that ends well, right? We had a very restful night's sleep. The temperature dropped, and I think we both woke up refreshed. I'm very thankful for the spot. However, leading into the evening, we had spent the morning doing a bunch of hiking, and then we followed that up with quite a few hours on the road. So by the time evening was rolling around, I was definitely out of energy. Of course, as you know, we changed plans. We were going to head into Charleston, but then called an audible, and Audra found the boondocking site that we stayed at. And that's nothing new. We've done that before. We've changed plans on the fly. However, anytime you introduce boondocking into your plan, there's always that wild card. Are you going to get bothered by some just goofy teenagers who are, they don't mean harm, but they're going to mess with you? Or are you going to run into somebody who does mean you harm, and wants to perhaps try to steal something from the van? Or are you going to get a knock on the door from a cop who says, you can't stay here? So anytime you introduce that, of course, that's in the back of your mind. This place did come recommended by a bunch of different people. There's that in the back of your mind. We pulled in, it was in the higher 80s, mid 80s, and a bit humid. And by the time we got the dinner cooking, the van was pretty toasty. Of course, as you remember, then I had some trouble with the EcoFlow Delta overheating. I'm still not 100% sure why that was happening. Thankfully that settled down. And then, of course, we had the episode with the fireworks being set off, and that just terrified our cat, who took off outside of the van. Thankfully, we had her on her harness and leash, but that leash caught a container of water which spilled over, and that was on the floor. What else happened?
And all the bugs.
Oh yeah, we had quite a slew of bugs that Audra was chasing after for most of the night. So anyway, all that to say, there was quite an afternoon and evening. I am thankful that everything settled down, and like I said, we were able to get a good night's rest.
So staying at that location, Stumphole boat ramp, was kind of out of the norm. We typically stay at a Cracker Barrel, but it's always nice to try something different. And other than the little fiasco with the fireworks, I think overall it was a great spot. We got a pretty nice sleep and a nice spot to wake up in the morning. So every once in a while, I think we'll keep trying things like that, things a little different, using iOverlander and different, looking online. But in general, I think we'll typically stick with the Cracker Barrels. So we're back on the road at 9 in the morning. I think we have about an 8-hour drive today, maybe 7. Taking a few seconds to try to make myself look a little pretty.
You don't need to make yourself look pretty. You already are.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-95 South.
And with that, we're back on 95, heading south. We've been on the road for about a half an hour, and now it's time for a coffee and bathroom break.
In a quarter mile, keep left at the fork. Follow signs for US 78 East St. George.
Yep. So last night we saw prices for $276. Here it appears to be $286.
Still better than the $319 we were paying in Pennsylvania and New York. Those two states are in a competition to be more stupider.
So we're gonna go for the cash price, and then maybe we'll come back over to the Flying J or McDonald's for bathroom and coffee. A little rinky-dink gas station.
Right.
So that's one more thing checked off the list.
Yeah. A little bit more hassle paying with cash. Unless you nail it just right. You don't have to go get change, but it's worth saving a few pennies, I guess.
So we keep our receipts and track what we spend.
Okay, where to next, co-pilot?
You want to just head over to McDonald's since we have the...
McDonald's? I've never heard of it.
Head over for the 99-cent coffee deal. So we really don't go to McDonald's this often, but it's just convenient, especially we have the app on the phone, and since we're right here, typically like if we'd go to a nice gas station we get coffee and everything there, but since that was kind of a rinky-dink little one and didn't have everything, we're gonna head over to McDonald's, get some coffee, and go to the bathroom.
When I grow old, I want to be just like these guys.
Just hang out and watch the trucks go by.
Sit in the truck stop parking lot.
Pretty funny. So I think you just missed the McDonald's.
This guy's distracted me.
So we gotta do a little Yui. That's pretty funny. I'll record him. You guys have the best seats in the house.
Hey, have a good day.
And here we are. You guys have the best seat in the house. Do you want to say? I said you guys have the best seat in the house.
That's right.
Do you want to say hi to our YouTube channel?
Hello.
Just say hey everybody.
Welcome to St. George.
Yeah.
Are you guys the official welcoming committee?
No, but
You're not.
We might as well be.
You might as well. I think it works.
Yeah.
we are here every day except Sunday.
Really?
In the mornings now.
How long do you stay here?
Sunday for church.
That's good.
7:30 to 11.
That's right.
With your coffees, I see.
With our coffee,
Tell her what we protest.
we protesting honeydews.
The honeydews.
Yeah.
The honeydew list.
Yeah.
That's
right. That's right.
But the reason why I got to leave it as loving is I got to have the dishes washed up for dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very important, you know. And we're twins.
You're twins. You look exactly alike.
Yeah. I'm Ed. He's Eddie.
That's right.
I mean, we're only 4 years apart.
How long have you guys known each other?
About 4 years.
4 years, I guess. Yeah.
But
And have you been sitting here for 4 years?
We
Well,
used to
pretty
sit
much.
outside, but when the
Oh.
pandemic hit, we started coming outside, and we like it outside better than inside.
And now you can watch everybody going by.
That's
Well,
right.
we just like to see people coming. It's just as you say.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
we wave at everybody.
Do you?
A lot of people don't speak.
Yeah.
A lot of people do, and it makes our day for something just like you yourself. somebody to grin and smile. And hey, you know, we believe in speaking to people.
Yeah.
And we've had people stop and take our picture. Never
Really?
video.
Well,
People
here
stop and
you're
take
on our YouTube
picture.
channel now.
We have really had people who wanted to have their picture taken with us.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
You guys are becoming famous.
So it's not every day you get to meet Ed and Eddie.
They were pretty great.
That was fun. I wasn't kidding. When I get old, that would be fun.
Do they see us? We've met some really great people on this trip. It really made our day just meeting Ed and Eddie. Super great guys, just sitting out there, people watching and interacting with a lot of people that stop by. So if you're ever through the area, traveling up and down Route 95 in St. George, South Carolina, get off exit 77, go to the Flying J, and look for those guys. They're there pretty much every morning except for Sunday, they said. So they said they're going to subscribe to our channel and watch. So Ed and Eddie, shout out to you guys.
Ed and Eddie, nice to meet you.
You guys are great. We hope to see you again sometime when we're on the road traveling up and down 95. So it's 11:15. That means it's snack time.
So one of the snacks that I like, especially when you're long days on the road and the hours and the miles just keep slipping by, you can start to get a little drowsy. I have found wasabi peas to be a fun little snack to wake you up. It is dried peas covered with wasabi paste, and they are quite hot, so it'll wake you up pretty quick. Bing!
And one of my preferred traveling snacks is trail mix that I make myself. So I buy almonds, and then I add peanuts and dark chocolate chips usually. Sometimes raisins and other things, but that's kind of my staple.
Woo! How you doing?
You're getting your sinuses cleared out with your wasabi.
I'm awake now.
So we just left South Carolina.
So that means we're going to be entering Kansas.
Steve's so good with his geography. Just got dark out pretty quick. Now we've got a little rain. Hopefully it won't get much worse than this. Not really fun driving in a downpour.
Wouldn't want to be that guy.
Yeah, would not want to be that guy. That sucks. Sometimes when we're on the road, we just have to wing it a little bit. As we've shared, we've changed our plans a little bit from last night. You know, we didn't do Charleston. So now today, trying to figure out what we want to do as we head home. I took some time and looked on the phone to try to find on a map a nice place to stop for lunch. We don't have a lot of food left here in the van, and we don't really want to do any more fast food. We determined we have some leftover tortellini from last night, I think a can of soup, and then some fruit. So we're going to try to find a nice little park where we can park the van and enjoy a nice spot. Alright, so it's 45 minutes. So that would put us in around 12:45. Does that sound good for a lunch stop?
That sounds good.
So I looked on the Google Maps app trying to find a park, and sometimes that's a little difficult because there'll be like green areas on the map, but it's not always labeled. So I actually switched over. I checked iOverlander first to see if there were like any good like natural overnight spots, because sometimes that's a nice spot for picnicking as well. Didn't find anything there. So then I actually went to the web version of Google Maps, and it was a lot easier to navigate there and find different parks. So I found a park, looked it up online, read about it, it sounded nice. I called to make sure that there were no day use fees, and it's free to go there, and it's only about 5 minutes off 95, so that's what we're going to try for lunch.
This is the funniest looking French fry I've ever seen.
Just doing a little work on the road now.
So we've been on the road for about 3.5 hours now. One of the ways that we try to save money is by keeping our close eye on miles per gallon. Still trying to figure out the van as we build out more and more. Obviously the van becomes that much heavier, but she seems to be holding steady at somewhere between 18 and 19 miles per gallon on the highway. So one of the ways I try to keep that average at that or higher is to try to keep my speed steady. I usually have the cruise control on when I can. Right now we're doing about 65 miles per hour on the cruise control. That'll help save some pennies over all the miles that we're doing. Also, I think it's just a safety concern. You definitely see a lot of crazy drivers out when you start putting miles and miles on. So it's a safety issue as well to be alert, and it's also just nice to kind of kick back a little bit, and you don't have to be setting any land speed records trying to get to your next destination. And like Audra said earlier, sometimes we will change plans right in the midst, and we'll find a different location. So we're just kind of having fun with it, winging it a little bit at times, and trying to enjoy the whole experience.
I really like that Steve's a careful and good driver. He really does try to drive carefully, and it's nice knowing that we're safe with him driving.
You've arrived.
So there's a campground here, but I guess it's also a day use park. Alright, so we just found that parking spot, having a little lunch next, but first I'm going to unplug the Delta. We've been charging it as we've been driving. It's charged up, looks like to about 69%. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it. Just this little plug on the side. And then it should kind of kick off. Now you can see there's no more input. So we've got plenty of power, that's for sure, for the rest of the day. Maybe we'll plug the fridge back in.
All right, we're going to take advantage of this nice park. I believe it's pronounced Blythe Island. And we've got our camp stove set up. Going to do it here on the ledge. Just a little bit easier, a little more space to work. That way we have some, if anybody wants to do any work at the kitchen sink, they can while the other person's down here cooking. So we got some soup on the menu today. Sirloin burger with country vegetables. Yummy.
It is a hot day. According to our van readout, it's 88 degrees outside. It's nice that there's a breeze. It looks like some rain might be coming in too, but in order just to kind of do things quickly, we're not using our swivel seat, so I'm sitting here on my little stool. We're gonna eat real quick, not spend too much time since it's so warm, maybe take a few pictures around here and get back on the road.
Some days I like to pretend I'm on the Wild West frontier, eating right out of the kettle. Of course, I'm too much of a sissy. I know how hot this is, so I'm not gonna taste it just for you guys. Burn my tongue off just for a video. I don't think so.
So in a few seconds when it's cooled off, we're gonna enjoy our vittles. So here's some public artwork here at this park to point out the sadness of litter. It's been made with junk and filled with bottles that I'm assuming people have left behind. So we got a decent parking spot here at Blythe Island Park. There's a much nicer breeze out here. It's a lot cooler out on the pier. And you can see some rain off in the distance. And then there's Route 95 in the distance with all the traffic. Alright, so we had a quick lunch. Now we're washing up our dishes. It was convenient that we found this park, the bathroom and a spigot with water. So I filled up this bowl and a jug of water. Now we're washing up dishes. Then I'm going to wash the fruit that we have. And we'll get back on the road with some healthy stuff to snack on. We washed up some cherries and blueberries and tomatoes, and that's going to be our healthy snack for the rest of our trip.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-95 South.
We're back on 95 South now, and it's 2 o'clock. That means it's been officially 24 hours that we've been sharing a day in the life of Steve and Audra with you. We hope you've enjoyed coming along with us.
If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that like button, and leave us a comment to let us know what you think. Tune back in next week where we're going to take you deep sea diving off a hot air balloon. Just kidding. I have no idea what next week's going to be about, but tune back in and we'll figure it out together.
See you then.